Good morning. Good morning, Namaskar. Good morning, everybody. This is Suraj Singh speaking from Bharat, India on this day, August 13, 2021, Friday. Title of talk being Civil Field Engineering Quality AnnexSL COVID-19 SHE Engineer's Role, Design, Construction, Methods, Contracts, Organization, Communication, Coordination, why we behind quality of concrete standard material. And this talk I start with COVID-19. And before that I'll try to show my certification. Me to do for you and for whole world, and likewise to think to do something for whole world for issue of quality. Quality is life, and life must have quality. We should bother about quality. We should bother about quality of life. We should bother about quality in work, and we should bother about wherever quality is required. That is most important. We have certifications, as I usually talk of. We have certain kinds of certifications. Every day I remind everyone, respect your certificates. Don't be sold. You get my point? Very serious statement I am giving this. Don't be sold. Selling yourself is very easy. It doesn't take any hard work. If you have certain capability, somebody can buy you. And that's very bad statement. I understand. But people are sold. In sports people are sold, in management people are sold, in organization people are sold, in politics people are sold, in marketing people are sold. But in engineering people are sold. In engineering people are sold, nothing is left. Engineering, which is survival of humanity, survival of standards, survival of works, survival of honesty, and survival of absolute good use of natural products, natural materials. If engineers at least can stop their own sales, which have been very high on sale these days, sales in a sense, of job, engineers compromise, which gives a result of bad quality products. I don't say just quality product, I say bad quality products, which state of manufacturing, state of industrialization, state of construction, all are in abundance these days. In particular in our country, and also I can't exclude many other countries and even highest level of countries, you can say loss of quality has come into domain everywhere, from soil product to electronic product, from mechanical product to mechanized product, from electrical product to electronized product. You can say no way is left. Therefore, I, as a person, as a professional, often try to respect my certifications, and if I cannot do that, then I should not tell that this is my certificate, I can close it. This is my certificate, I can close it. I close it just to express my dissatisfaction on that. But quality is quality. Even if we don't care for quality, some quality God cares, and God already puts some quality into every item God delivers to humanity, in terms of food, in terms of natural resources, in terms of, you can say, fruits. You can refer to whatever item God produces. It's well packed and well qualitative. Example, you can take fruits. Example, you can take food grains. Example, you can take vegetables. Whatever you use in your life for survival, everything has certain level of quality. If we consume them naturally, we shall be very healthy. But we vary that quality and we spoil our health. Very simple. Before going to COVID-19, I'll just give you a very brief statement on natural wealth. For example, food grain we take, vegetables we eat, we can change its constituents to our requirements, and we of course make certain losses because we want to have some taste. You, for example, you take some salt or in already something which is having salt. You consume vegetable which is already having some chemicals in this, I mean to say eatable chemicals like salt, natural salt, like to some level dissolved chemicals in that. We still add something to that. First, we cook very well. We think that cooking is very good for health. Yes, cooking is good for health, but not to that extent. You add oil to that, or you add some butter to that, you add some cream to that. Just for your taste, you do that. And this, when you do that, you provide these vegetables or these eatables something like, you say, we apply eccentric force in our members, structural members, not axial force. Means nature has provided some axial arrangement in vegetables, in food grains, and we change that to eccentricity and we cause problems to that members. I am just giving you a comparative example. We change their taste, which just for taste sake we add salt, we add chili, we add so many other items in garam masala, you add so many just for purpose of your taste, of tongue. We change that and it creates acidity, or it creates digestion problem that we are responsible for, because everybody is interested in spicy food, and food according to your taste must have good fats for you. Though people are concerned now because of some other reasons, not because of health. So I'm just giving an example because it's the issue of health also. When I talk of quality, safety, health and environment. For example, you take banana. Nature has done very good work in that. Excellent work. Some food inside or some fruit inside which you can directly eat by peeling out your skin of that banana is well packed. Is delivered well packed. There is no plastic packing on that. There is no timber packing on that. It's natural packing. You just peel out that skin. That skin is used somewhere else, so thrown out, discarded, but inside stuff you eat. And that's well balanced. Same thing applies to apple, same thing applies to guava, same thing applies to so many other fruits available. Nature has done well done, I mean to say, as delivery of, you can say, standard package quality. Its natural quality organization system works very well. It doesn't demand anything from you. Everything is natural except that you have to grow one tree. Likewise, whatever tree, and it shall give you little fruits after some time. So you can't blame nature. Nature is very good, cook for us. It has given us grains, rice, food grains, pulses, everything. Just for example, you take food grain, rice, for your wet, and boil it and try to eat it when it's soft. You'll enjoy it. But I've not done that. It can be done. If you just grind it in flour mill, and it's converted from good grain to a powder stuff which is called flour, atta, and then you cook chapatis of that. You also add salt and chili sometime. You make paratha sometime. So much you add in that oil, and you get different taste. But system of your body doesn't accept that. It doesn't accept that, and you get abdominus, you get less smart. Your mind is hung up. It happens. You take paratha, well fried paratha with ghee or with butter or with oil, eat it, and you will hang up. You will try to sleep. Is your food meant to get you sleep or get you active? That you have to decide. I'm not going to decide for you. It's very important point here from health. Same way rice. Well, rice is still supportive because you boil it and you can directly consume it. And some people also add something to that. It depends. Means you add something which is your enemy, which is enemy of health. When I have examples with me, I am fond of eating vegetables just by cutting them into very small pieces and heating up in either in oven or cooker. When I do that, I don't add anything to that. I just eat, but it should be hot. I like hot. I don't like very cold because cold doesn't suit my health. So I take very hot. I like it, and if I give to someone or someone shares with me, everybody asks me, how do you eat this? Yes, that's a good question. How do we eat this? Means they say there's no taste in this. I mean, natural taste is there. They don't understand that natural taste is taste. For them, there should be salt. There should be some chili in that. There should be some, sour in that, or whatever you can say, garam masala in that. I don't know what else. Only then they can eat. Of course, there is no oil in that. Nothing in that. Means without spicy system or without frying system, our people in India, Bharat, are not used to eat. Nature has given balanced system. We do not respect that. I try that food, and some doctor Sahib eats with me. He enjoys, but I enjoy that a lot. And it's not just now. It has been for decades. I'm taking that. And when I take that, it works well in my digestion system. People call it boiled food. You can call it boiled food or oven heated food, whatever you can say. It's good for health. It doesn't add acidity to you. And it's natural, so you don't need even water to immediately consume. Well, I mean to say, it's an example. Same way, I used to take before, but I don't want to take parantha, aloo parantha, or some other stuff parantha, or puri, halwa. Means everybody likes that. Even to God, they adulterate by such food. They think God will be very happy when they offer puri, parantha, kachori, and they generally do so. So how can you give to God without spicy food, with spices, without heat? Is this your thinking? Well, I have gone too long. I should not have taken that many minutes for this. My purpose was just to talk of good health maintenance and not simply health. You must have noticed that you have to digest also whatever you eat. It's not simply you eat and then suffer. Gastric issue, you can say many other problems you get if you don't digest food. It's easy to eat everything. You can consume spice, you can consume meat, you can consume chicken, you can consume whatever you want. There is no bar. But your stomach has bar. Your stomach is designed to certain circumstances, to certain requirements, to certain good requirements of food, and nature has given that. Nature has given fruits, nature has given vegetables, nature has given food grains. I think there is nothing that we use in life, we consume in life, nature has not given. That point we should understand. If we understand that, health shall become supportive to everyone, and when health becomes supportive, you remain active. You must have noticed when you are very tired, or you are yawning, or you are being lethargic, you either take some coffee, some tea, or some hot milk, depending upon your need as you drink. And also you like it, okay, for 1 hour I am okay, I've taken a cup of tea or coffee. For 2 hours I can run, I can eat, I can move, I can work. So I try to consume. Of course, I am fond of tea. I take tea also, and I like black tea, just water and tea in that. No sugar, no milk. I take that also. It's very good for health. If you take 3 cups, otherwise you take 1 cup of this, and this will take same time to help you as 3 cups of other tea or coffee. That's my experience. So it's not today, it has been for many decades since I have been in Arab for many years, and those people consume such drinks like hot coffee or without milk, without sugar. Sugar, of course, they take, but and their coffee is very, very concentrated. That sells, it's called Suleimania tea or black tea, they call it. Likewise, I can say if you take if you take example of animals, cow, buffalo, horse, donkey, what they do, they eat spicy food? Do they eat hot food? No. They take natural food and they are natural powers. We usually call horsepower, machine horsepower, BHP, brake horsepower, indicative horsepower. That horsepower is a relative term, but it came from somewhere. Horses were used, donkeys were used, bullocks were used. Likewise, so it has been given name horsepower. If you consume natural food, whatever is natural you consume, or why do you consume them? Of course, it is treated because of impurities, not otherwise. Natural water is always pure. It's we have spoiled it. When you can take natural water, you don't want to take spice in that, take spice in water also and drink. Who stops? But you won't do that. Means, what I'm saying is, health is directly proportional to your consumption. What do you eat? It's very important. And that is what quality of health. If you eat, your health becomes that. And if your health acts in one way, your attention to work also acts in that way. If say you're gastric all day, off gas, acidity, you cannot concentrate on work. Concentration on work means your health should be good. If health is good, you can think of safety, and when you are safe and healthy, only another time you may concentrate. That's an important point. Now, health and safety we talk. Quality is very big issue. Health should be qualitative, you can say. Work attention should be qualitative. When you work, it should be quality example. It should not simply work. It's very important part in our life. Now, I was talking of COVID-19, a issue that has been for more than 20 months. I can say yes, 20 months approximately. People are very short memory, they forget too early, and whole world has forgotten that COVID-19 impacted them adversely. Still, it is doing same thing. There has been no disappearance. We can't see that's difference only. And I noticed that news also have got some deacceleration to come in. It may be our country, it may be USA, it may be UK, it may be Canada, it may be Far East, it can be Europe, it can be Gulf. You can say, or Africa even, you can say, we have got, now planned news. News are coming planned, means they are trying to tell, we are opening this, we are opening that. Why did you close? There was no need of closing, but you closed. Because our world could not understand it. They could not understand what was COVID-19, and still its understanding is unclear, absolutely unclear. Yesterday I read one news that there's some trial on ultraviolet rays and by filtered air. You can say use of filtered air or some kind of that air purification, using of air purification in Rome. Alright, ultraviolet I understand. It's very effective on our cells and defective also. Ultraviolet is freely available if you want to take. It shall affect your COVID impact or it shall not affect, I cannot say. But one thing I know, ultraviolet rays are very detrimental to human beings, that's true. But ultraviolet is natural provision, and there was a protective measure for ultraviolet, and that is ozone layer. Ozone layer that encompasses our earth around, it encompasses, and this layer, ozone layer, which is now very much depleted, and that is because of greenhouse gases. Ozone has been negated it has been defected, it has been impurified. So its effect has been diminished, and that is the reason that excessive ultraviolet rays enter our system. If you have noticed these days, for a couple of years, I've been noticing weather reports that during daytime we are getting, particularly in hot weather, UVI, that's called ultraviolet index, up to 11, up to 12, even more somewhere, while it should be up to 4 or 5 for normal state. But it goes up to 6, 7, 8. 8 is very normal, and then you can say 10, 8, 9, 11, now 12 also sometimes. Not whole day, few hours, you can say 2 or 3 hours in a day. Early morning it's not much, in evening also it's 0 sometimes. Ultraviolet, if you are fond of using sun, consuming sun, which is free of cost, sun doesn't send to us any bill, so we should not worry about our payment by credit card to sun. We don't need. If you walk in sun or stand in sun for half an hour, say every day in hot, particularly during or around noon time, you will get effect of ultraviolet rays, effect of vitamin D, effect of sweating. I mean to say, you shall get natural filtration. So impact of ultraviolet rays you get. And you must have noticed that these workers, construction workers, I'm not talking of mechanical workers or electrical workers, because generally they work in their covered areas, they work indoors. Even in factories, people work indoors. Even in industries, people work indoors. Only an exclusive field is construction, building construction. I'm not talking of road construction, because in road construction, manpower or workforce is limited, but machines are more important. But in building constructions, crew works openly. When building comes up, then only they can go inside for finishing items. But structural items are done by our workforce, who are, you can say, different varieties, different classes, and they consume natural air, natural moisture, natural sun, of course sunlight, and they consume ultraviolet rays also. And same day, the kids, they used to that. You'll find very few such class of workers. I mean, they have different kind of diseases, but you will not find them subject to impact of COVID-19. And same applies to those farming professionals who work in open fields during daytime. I'm not talking of night time. During daytime, they absorb sun rays, and that you'll find them also very healthy. And this is reason that this part of population, farming professionals who work in field, really field, not just supervise, and our construction workers, that they may not be impacted by COVID-19 early. I don't think record says that COVID-19 impact has gone to those people who are pro air conditioned, first choice of whom is only air conditioned environment, air conditioned living, without which they can't breathe, they can't respire, particularly middle class people, higher middle class people, and those who are riches. In their homes, they work at home or they work at office, whatever they eat, and they use cars. I think hardly their exposure to non-air conditioning area is 1 or 2%. I don't think so more than that, maybe less than that. You are in home, your home is air conditioned. You are in office, your office is air conditioned. You go to office by car, or you go to market by car. Means when you come out of your home and go to car, that distance only you may travel, which is just 1 minute, a half minute or 2 minutes. And when you go from your car to your office, that may be up to lift you go, and that's it. So I don't think those people are happy with nature. And if you talk to them, you will always find they will complain about stress. Oh, I worked for 10 hours, I'm very much stressed. I don't understand meaning of stress, believe me. I'm an engineer. I know physical stresses, material stresses, stress and strain. I know that. Stress upon strain. I know that. I don't say no. I know it. Young modulus of elasticity is a result of stress upon strain. Stress means when you apply force, come direct force on somebody, and that per unit square meter force is applied, and the result you get in, that's called stress. And we get change also due to change in length or change in its area or change in volume. That's called strain. That's called volumetric strain, square or area strain or length strain. Both change in length or original length, change in area or original area, change in volume or original volume. Likewise, we know that in our applied sciences, applied mechanics, or theory of structure, we do that. It's very simple. There's no problem. It's theory. And it happens. Means you can check it. This is checkable, verifiable. This is science. Same thing applies to life. If you are just living in an air-conditioned room, you don't care for nature, nature will not care for you. Don't worry. It won't. Nature is not your servant. It gives you free service, but you don't want to take service. That's your problem. If you are so much oriented on air condition, then your mind shall not work. It shall not be energized. Your body shall not be energized. Your respiration system shall not energize. Your food shall not. You can't take that food which is good for your health. You will take only food that suits you. Means it happens because you are cold. Means you stay in sometimes 20 degrees Celsius, sometimes 15 degrees Celsius, sometimes 27 degrees Celsius. You don't want to stay in 40 degrees, 35 degrees, 45 degrees. Oh, I can't stand, I am sweating in. How can I sit in this? Fan is working, fan is not good for me. I see my relatives, my daughters, my sisters, my sister's daughters. Oh, she comes to my room, my home, when I don't use AC. I can't sit here, Mama. I can't sit here. Oh, for 5 minutes she suffers. She starts sweating in. What's your body resistance? My question is to everyone. Okay, you are rich, you have good salary, you have good education, but you are not good health. If your mind stresses and strains in 10 hours, 8 hours, this means you have no working capacity. Somebody complains, I'm doing too much work. They are giving me too little salary. Don't work, then give job. Who stops you? What do you think? This employer is a servant. You should be lucky that you got a job. The employer pays you, you try your own system. You try your company and see how you can manage. It's easy to say, but difficult to work. Your body should be hot. People say, oh, hot photo. They say hot photo. Oh, what a hot female. What a hot person. What is hot? Your heat is different. Your heat is attraction. I don't talk of heat of attraction. I talk heat of thermodynamics. Heat of thermodynamics is different. I talk heat of body system. It is different. Sun heat is very important for body. Just like hot water is important body. They take cold water. Oh, chilled, I want more chilled. You don't understand. It freezes your body instantly. It freezes. Why do you take tea then? Because you are cold inside. You can't sit. You want energization, physical energy. But those who consume sun heat, who consume hot air, who consume hot water, and who sweat out, they are really renewed every day. If you have these properties, every day you walk in sun, you consume natural air, you consume natural moisture. When humidity is more, 60%, 70%, 80% relative humidity, and in daytime you walk, say 15 to 20 minutes for 30 minutes. And this moisture in air, your head, your hair, that gets wet, and you think, what's happening? I'm sweating. No, that's not sweat. That is precipitation of moisture from air that goes onto settles on your hair and your body, and you're sweating, but you're not tired because that's moisture. And if it is dry, there's no moisture, then you feel enjoy, and it's also supported by wind. What I'm saying is, if you miss nature, you miss your life, you miss your soul. Your soul is energized only when you eat good food and you have a good nature. This is what I'm saying, and that's quality of life. Quality of life cannot be measured by your car, which car you drive, how it works, how fast it can move. It can't be measured that way. What good or what standard your house is, it can't be measured that way. It can be measured by your body's potential, by your mind potential, by your efficiency of work, by your concentration, by your commitment. How far can you move? If you are tired in 8 hours working or 10 hours working or 12 hours working, I can simply say you are not fit for job. You should be happy if you work more. Forget salary, forget remuneration. Work is different. Work itself is earning. My understanding is different. If you are given work, this means you are recognized. Yes, I know you should get more salary, but salary is one criteria. Work itself is salary because it gives you efficiency. It gives you an opportunity to work, opportunity to think, opportunity to work on research. That's very important point. But these millennials, which we call those born in year you can say you should say 1982, 1982, 2000. Generally, they are called millennials. Means near millennial, they got birth, and they can't. Remember, of course, they get job, they are educated, and computer helps them. And actually, truly speaking, I'm not against computer, but computer has drawbacks also, which have penetrated into our livings. Now you see, people are computer pro generally, all except those who do not know computer, maybe 5-10% people. Generally, people know because you can operate on mobile. So this means to some extent you can use computer if you are taught, if you are trained. But you don't have that opportunity because you work in field, you don't have time. I'm not arguing on that. But these people who are middle class and who have got their MBAs, or who have got their post graduations, or they are in some field of where computer is utilized, and they always sit on computer and think computer is world. Yes, you can work on computer from office, from home. You can do your work, but is that real work? No, that's not real work. Work lies beyond that. Yes, you are a communicator, you are a medium, can think only to that limit, you cannot think beyond that. For example, a designer sits on computer, he designs. Okay, fine, design is a part of profession. But design's implementation is not a part of computer, that you have to work in field. Just like you have to grow crops. You cannot sit at home and grow crops, you have to go there, you have to seed in, you have to do so much physical work, it's on tractor, otherwise only then you have to put water and you can say, okay, I've done my job, it will come out of now, nature will take care of that. So that work, you may say it is physical work and computer work is office work. You can say that. Writing or PowerPoint presentation or work on Excel sheet or work on MS Office, whatever you do. But you think that is end of world. Yes, we are not writing these days, we have forgot writing. Current generation has forgot writing. They don't know how to write, they don't know how to compose sentences, they don't know what is mathematics, they don't know anything about anything else. They just know computers and they know only keying in. They don't know how to make key, they only can key in. They don't know how to make this world, but they can say I am world. That's what I am saying. They have quality, some quality they have to work on computers, but they don't have physical quality. They don't have physical survival. Means they are, you can say, made a tool. Those who use computer, like me also, I am also included in that. I am no different. I am also a tool as far as computer is concerned. I rather than using computer, I become servant to computer. If, for example, I don't have computer for one day, oh, I have my computer, I can't work. I also say that. Though I am very senior, I am 67 years, I have spent my life on all activities and writing, communicating, but I also become, to some extent, slave of computer. Really, I curse myself. Well, it's life, you have to adjust. My writing has been defected now. I used to write excellently well, very fast. Means now I think it's very difficult to write. Opportunity doesn't come in to write. Sometimes you have to write very small application, you use computer. Only somewhere to sign. Now signature is also not required because the computer, automatic production document, message comes to you, automatically created, generated document, you do signature on that. Means you have stolen your signature by computer. You have lost everything to your computer. So how your writing skills can come up? Now you see spellings, you can see spellings, you can see sentences, you can see writings, you can see speaking power. Everything is gone. Yes, you can speak very well, I understand. But grammar and translation don't value there. You speak anything, no present or past or future, imagine, you can speak anything. Okay, we understand, that's it. You write anything to understand. What I'm saying is, quality, if it has come in through computer, it has also gone through. It's gone out also. So you got nothing. You got something, you lost something. Can you write something today? How many real authors are there? Tell me. They use computer too. There was a time when people used to write and communicate and interact. You can't even interact because you don't know who is chatting with you, what level that person is just chatting, that's it. Chatting with whom? With unknown. Chatting with unknown. I'm not criticizing, it's a fact. Means publicity has changed. There was a real publicity. Now even salespeople don't come to you. These mobile companies have sold your names, your telephone numbers to them, and they call you anytime. Means business has changed, they can disturb you. This computer has given authority to these representatives, these companies, to call you anytime without any problem. They don't seek your permission to talk to you, just call you. Even you are standing at cremation ground on the graveyard, or you are busy in your bathroom, or you are doing very important work, they disturb you. Right? As if they have got license to disturb you. Believe me, it's very bad. Everything is on sale. Computer list on sale. Your time is on sale. I can buy your time, I can disturb you. Really, it pinches me. Humanity is lost. Quality is lost. Completely lost. I don't consider this quality. You say, I am a quality person. I am using computer. No, I am not a quality person. Because computer is not my boss. Computer is a tool I have to use. I can't be ruled by computer. Computer, I have to rule computer. It's no mind to think. Yes, it is. That's what I call artificial thing, artificial intelligence. It's not natural intelligence. It can't replace your intelligence. No way. It's like a parrot. It's like a crow. Just like we talked to some student of primary school or middle class. Do you know tables? Yes, I know table. Up to what table you know? I know up to 20. Okay, tell me 13 into 8 how much? Oh, no, I don't this way. I know another way. Which is another way? You ask him, speak about 18 tables, he will tell you 18.1, 18.2, 18.3. If you just random check, you can't get answer. So where is that? That mathematical power is gone. This means quality has gone. I have seen people in my life, old people, who used to calculate even up to lakhs, millions and crores on their tips. Difficult questions they can use on tips because they had active mind. Now minds are not active. Minds are just minds for sake of using mind through some medium. Mind does not need any medium. I am sure that this computer has damaged our memory. Memory, I forget actually using computer so much. These radiations that come onto my forehead and eyes and nose and face, these spoil me. And you too also, that's the reason why you got strain. Because there are impurities in the mind, these rays, this way, computer waves enter your mind, enter your brain, enter your forehead, and these impact your body, and which you can say a type of radioactivity works in our mind. Of course, low profile radioactive, you can say. It's not like X-ray or gamma ray, or you can say protons movement or electrons movements or something like that, neutrons movement. It's different, but it works. I'm not scientist of that, but it's common sense understanding I'm telling you. So where is quality? We have lost quality in thinking, we have lost quality in working, we have lost quality in communicating. Miscommunication is also flawed. Completely flawed. No coordination. I'm not finding any coordination. Coordination is very good part in engineering, but I'm not finding that. I miss that. I worked on coordination for decades. But where is it now? I don't know. I don't know. How you can't coordinate because you're not writing. You're not used to writing. Oh, talk, mobile. Call me. What's mobile? You think if you talk to 100 people every day or 50 people every day, you remember everything? Just think of. You get 50 calls a day. Then you have to respond to 50 calls. Or even you can say less or more depending on your job nature. So you are busy in 100 calls a day. If you are busy in 100 calls a day and you take 5 minutes to one call, so 500 minutes call a day or 10 hours a day. If you call and you don't have any secretary to note your call to take action, how shall you remember? You cannot remember, and that is why coordination has failed. Same thing you talk again and again. I told you that day this and I told you that day this, and that other party will say, oh, no, you did not tell me this. Maybe you don't know whom you talked to that, whom you told that. I have noticed this. They just argue for this. Oh, no, I discussed with you that. No, you did not discuss with me. You told me something else. That consumes your time. That is argument, baseless argument. My dear, where is piece of paper that you agreed? That paper is not available. Because they did not write. Writing is bad habit for them. And talking is good habit for them. The world has changed. That's why I'm saying quality has gone. Writing skill is dead. Thinking skill is also dead because writing is dead. You just experience. When you write something, your mind works very fast. Your mind works analytically if you concentrate on writing. Or even if you concentrate on reading book, your mind works very, very excellently. But when you talk, your mind cannot think, remember. When you talk, your mind cannot think. When an advocate makes one petition, drafts one petition, at that time advocate considers every point into that petition. That petition is drawn at length, and that petition is told all points, what you have instructed all points, that composes at that time. And that advocate, because that advocate writes, that concentration remains there and all points are covered. But same advocate when appears in court, he cannot remember that. First of all, there is a gap of dates. Then there are so many cases, and that person has to read every time or has to ask again and again to client what was point before hearing. Means it's very clear that quality of work depends on thoughts, on action of mind, efficiency of presence of mind. Which efficiency is missing? That efficiency was earned by reading books, by reading newspapers, by reading other literary materials, and by writing. When I used to write to remember, because we can't remember all time. If you read once, you can't remember. You think you are ready with that, but when you write, you don't write. You can't write until you write the same thing on paper, or you take classes. You go to class and write notes. When you write those notes, something remember, something is put in your mind. When you read it again or write again, something is better put in mind, and a time comes that you can write yourself. Same which your teacher taught you. It happens after repetition of 3 or 4 times, not before that. Same thing, I have to write something while reading or while understanding 2 times, 3 times, and then it becomes a program in my mind. And it doesn't go out. That programming doesn't happen now. It doesn't happen, and we are only concerned about our work and our salary. We are not concerned about development. We want raise in salary just for same work without any development, and that is where computer has brought us. It's, of course, I can say both. Computer is good for us, but we are not good for computers. Computer is good for us. We have to use it, and this means we have to limit our quality to use of computer. That computer is not my boss. Now every new guy, every structural engineer, every professional thinks computer. Without computer, they cannot work. A computer is good for work, but not for slavery. You can't be slave to computer. Quality is from mind, not from computer. Yes, there can be good printout from computer indeed. There can be good printouts. There can be good video conferences. There can be good, you can say, webinars. Everything can be there. But it can't replace your actions. Your actions are absent. Your actions are absent. Because you have not learned what you have to learn. You attend some webinar, you won't understand first of all. And if you understand, you will not get what you wanted. You say, I am attending some webinar, I have no time. But what you find there is different. What you wanted, they move as if everything is known to everybody. Then why you conduct webinars? Why you conduct seminars? If you think everything, you just telling this point, this point, this point, you'll tell 25 presentations and attendants or participants don't understand anything. What's the meaning of that? Just you want to keep record that we have done this? If that record is more important, I don't think there's a quality in anything. No quality. Quality is very important issue. Just like I said about COVID. We could not understand COVID till now, but we talk of, so many cases come now. Now there's long COVID. At that time people could not understand what's long COVID. Now long COVID has come. Now water contains virus. Every day you find something different. Some people think vaccines can solve their problem, and some people think vaccine can create more problem. So there is no clarity. There is no clarity in approach. Thousands of scientists all over the world, but there is no clarity, unfortunately. This is difficulty in our system. This means computers have given us something which is not in our culture. Computer just wants to change culture, for it has no culture. And there are so many programs these days, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of programs. How many programs can you understand? In every profession there are a length of program, and they keep on updating and updating and updating. My God, my life is for computer. My question is, I have to study only computers for my work. So when shall I think for my work? Every day you update that. Every day. You want to make permanent slave? You want to make me permanent slave of yours? Or let me work on that. Let me understand that. If I have some problems, I'll ask you, please amend that. You yourself are amending anything. I've seen such amendments which are foolish amendments. There's no need but they amend. There is no requirement of that but they amend. Because they have to sell it. So your sale is not my ambition. Your sale, okay, you are a computer company, you have to give us software. It doesn't mean you have to keep our time for softwares only. I have more work in life. I have to do work in field. So people say, I am stressed. Because you are not physically strong, that's why you are stressed. No other reason. If your mind is strong, you should accept everything. If you work, you enjoy. Of course, I know radiations impact mind, but you should take some rest, and that's all. Nothing else, and you take rest. My one relative says, my neighbor says that if I don't sleep for 8 hours, I get migraine. Yes, everybody gets migraine if you don't sleep. It's not because of not sleeping. It's because of you have less energy in your body. You need physical energy. You need soul energy, which you don't have. You never want to do exercise. You never walk. You never enjoy nature. If somebody likes that, I like America because America is cold. England is cold. If you say you go to Bihar, you go to somewhere else, you don't like, well, it's very hot, I can't go. Where I walk, there's no place to walk. In this country, there's no place to walk. You see people say like that. For walking, we have to go to USA. What nonsense. What I'm saying, this quality is different. That's why I try to talk on COVID. COVID is very difficult at this stage. It is dancing, and Delta has come up on top. Delta variant is a serious one, is concerned one, as WHO also says, variants of concern. Delta is very, very powerful, but at same time people have taken COVID for granted. This also is happening. Now I see 90% people or more than 90% people are ignoring the mask. I go to some place, I see those who maybe those 10% people only use, others don't. Some people think they are vaccinated, so no need of mask. Some people say no, I don't care, and news every day say, they refer to see only thousands of people are now getting infection every day, so why should I worry when there's a time of lakhs of people per day? were detected, now only thousands are detected. This means there's a responsibility with whom? With none. People can't be considered responsible because here everybody sees, if I see other guys not wearing mask, I'm not serious, okay, I also don't use mask. If other is fool, I am fool. Simple. I live for other guy, what he's doing. Why should I look at other? Or they are forced. You go to metro, you have to wear mask. You are forced to wear mask. That force doesn't work everywhere. It works in metro, it works in bus, it may work somewhere else, it work in restaurant, it may work in hotel, or I mean to say wherever there's some control. This means we are people, we always seek control. We cannot control ourselves. Self-control is very important. And those who can control self, they are best people. And that is what quality of life. If you can control yourself. COVID has not gone, but your seriousness has gone. If today they say, okay, 5 lakh cases per day, everybody will start wearing masks. Means you are not human being. Are you human being? Why don't you think it has not gone? It is coming. As one scientist said, eminent scientist says, announced that, why you say COVID has gone? It actually started coming in. And that's true. In Australia you find some traces of virus, COVID virus in wastewater. And there are symptoms in people or young people, others who were detected COVID maybe many months back or year back. Now they complain about symptoms. I have body pain, I am not very active, my hands are tired, I can't breathe properly, I have digestion problem, I have this problem, that problem. There are so many symptoms and they have given name it long COVID, though they were declared recovered that time by mistake, though there is no recovery in this. I always call, you cannot recover from COVID because COVID is not curable. But people don't understand. They don't understand. Oh, recovered. Every day you will find government of news or other government news. We have so many recoveries. So nonsense. There is no recovery in COVID. Not even a single person has been recovered throughout the world because there is no recovery. It is just, exact that you took 17 days, 18 days, 21 days isolation period and now you are free. That's it. Then nothing means you have come out of that. You can't come out of that until it's curable. So same thing, they thought they are recovered, now they are coming. They were never recovered. It's still in their body. Of course, it's working at low level, but it's in body. We have to be very careful. And that's why I request everybody, don't decide based on what others do. COVID will harm you. Even if you don't feel it, it will harm you if it goes into your body. So use mask and don't think we have been vaccinated, we won't be infected. They are also on wrong sailing, incorrect boat they are traveling. Even if you are vaccinated, this doesn't mean COVID cannot enter your body. It can enter your body at same speed as much as it enters a body who is not immunized, who is not vaccinated. There is no problem to COVID. Yes, there is problem of internal working. Once it enters your body, a person who is vaccinated, because that person has got immunity, higher immunity, maybe impact of COVID is lesser in comparison to a person who is not vaccinated. That's the only difference, nothing else. But don't think that you cannot get it and you can transfer it to other one. You are vaccinated, you are using no mask, you can transfer in fact other people who are not vaccinated. So don't do this crime. You are lucky that you are vaccinated, doesn't mean that other person who is not vaccinated, you got some right to infect that person. That's what I'm saying. Mask is good for you and for others. It's same thing you think that it's old time we are using burqa or we are using face cover. Just like you are using shirt and pant, you are using sari, or you are using trouser, or you are using suit. Same way, it's a part of dress, nothing else. You use mask as a part of dress. It shall give you many more protection other than COVID. You should understand that protection is from dust going into your nose. Protection is from bad air going to your nose. You will get protection from air particles which can be settled, and you can get protection from mosquitoes. You can get protection from other, say, fly impact, and you can say some many more. Of course, you can't protect yourself from smell, because smell doesn't need any space, even can penetrate your mask. So what I'm saying is, precaution is always better, prevention is always better. Don't depend upon cure, because you have seen what happened throughout the world. All governments have failed, hospitals have failed. Hospitals in America, hospitals in England, hospitals in our country, hospitals everywhere have failed. Now what's happening in Indonesia? Nothing is hidden. What's happening in Indonesia, what's happening in South Korea, what's happening in China, what's happening in many parts of our country, what's happening in USA, what's happening in England, what's happening in France, what's happening in Germany, means though news are not bluntly coming and sharply coming, but it's happening. Nobody can stop them. Therefore, we should be very serious about this issue. And maybe, I can't say it should happen. It will take another, I think, 7 to 8 years more, and up to 23 or 24, you will find COVID rising very up. It has actually started working. And remember, this should not happen, but if it happens, it will cause great problem. If COVID comes through water, which is expected, because it loves moisture. COVID loves humidity. It loves humidity. And if it comes through humidity, and you know water is very humid, 100% humid, its concentration of humidity, water is a concentration of humidity, and you can say 100% humid or more than that, because that humidity is measured in relation to air volume. But here it's only water. Maybe I dreamt, if it comes through water, it shall cause havoc on earth. How far can you boil water for every use? You can't boil water for every use. Maybe you teeth your brush, maybe you do shave. Okay, drinking water you can boil and drink. You can take tea, hot coffee, but you will take other liquids also. It can come through soft drinks, it can come through your hard drinks, it can come through humidity. Means it shall cause havoc in our life. So we have to be very careful. It's analytical thinking. I'm not scientist, I'm not doctor, but safety is very important, which does not need any degree, doesn't know any degree. Safety doesn't require any degree. So we have to be very careful. That's why I said I'll start with COVID. COVID is very powerful. Delta is now very powerful. Delta has transcrossed your vaccines, and even vaccine manufacturer Pfizer, for example, says that vaccines have failed to fight with Delta. And if Delta dominates world, you can know what shall happen. Maybe now they say, sometimes they say one thing, another time they say another thing, but I say, let us say Delta is very powerful. Think of that. And only way is lockout is no solution, lockdown is no solution, removing mask is no solution, vaccination is part solution, but mask is permanent solution. Only solution, use mask, use cover up, keep yourself safe, no shying. What's the problem? I don't know. Therefore, it's in your interest. It's in interest of yourself, in your family. Already crores people have left this world because of COVID. They may not say, but this is a fact. Do you want to see many more crores leave this world? It's up to you. And those who still stay in this world, but they are long COVID, they can face degrading of their body quality for long. And if you save yourself, you will not face body problem. It's very important point. So I'm not going much into technical work of quality, and I think I should concentrate on other items. and that is very important. I was talking in our work of I don't know where was there. Let me go back to that part of my file. I did not open it till now. I'll open it now. We're talking of safety yesterday. Safety, I think metal handling safety we're talking of. And that I should say, let me just give me half a minute, I'll take it out. This sometimes, so many files are opened and I miss my direct opening system. So this is HSCS taking up, and that point is I will talk of night working scaffolding, abrasive wheels, and this is safe practice hazards control. Yes, we're talking of hazards control, and that hazards control we're talking of, and it's that one. Very important topic it is. Hazards control. We are somewhere on concrete, I'm sure. We're some. This is a steel fixing. Gone through steel fixing, and we were on backfilling, I think. Let me repeat steel fixing, and then we will go only will just for refreshing. I'm not going to RCC. RCC we have discussed, so we will let's refresh with the steel fixing and come on. Steel fixing. Now I'm talking of technical. I'm talking of construction, and that's very important point here. And I think before that, I should go upstairs and come back. Meanwhile, you can see what is steel fixing. If I do that, just okay, yeah, I leave it to you for 5 minutes, and I'll come back. Steel fixing is this, yes. I'll just give me some time. Already 4:39. I'll come back. Already 1 hour over. Then I'll be back. Just a minute, please. If this video continues, fine, or else I'll make another one, because I can't trust these people. So I'll be back. Hold on, after 5 minutes. we come back, we concentrate on our work, and we see that talking of hazards control, talking of steel fixing activities, hazards of steel fixing, and we can say falling material, slip, trip and falls, manual handling, cut injuries, many others also. Let's go on to solutions better, because there can be no classification for specific hazards. People walk on that can cause problem. While lifting this through cranes or someone else, there can be fall, because it's not one bar, we lift bundles of bars. We lift fabricated bars, we lift main bars, all bars. There can be slips while these are untied, people can fall. Manual handling can also be a problem. So what we say, cut injuries are very common, and there are so many others. Hot, it is very hot. It is sometimes for 50 degrees Celsius, 45 degrees Celsius surface of steel, so that can also cause problems. So what measures actually we have to take, that's we have to consider. Says experienced and trained steel fixers shall be used with adequate supervision provided. That's indeed true. It can't be said no. Only experienced persons are required. Experienced steel fixers are required to work on whatever activity they do. Its experience means it's very much technical experience, cutting and bending and placing and assembly, tying. It's very much technical work, just like form work is technical. It's much more technical than form work, because it's very much minute work. In millimeters we have to measure. So experienced and trained steel fixers must be used and shall be used with adequate supervision provided. Of course, supervision is a must. A steel fixer should wear suitable gloves, footwear and eye protection. Rebar shall be lifted into work area using certified, you should say. Sometimes, I also write, maybe I copied, I don't know. So rebar shall be, rebar means reinforcing bar shall be lifted into work area using certified lifting equipment and tackle. Rebar of cut, binding wire requires to be removed in order to prevent slips, trips and falls. Binding wire and many more, maybe cut pieces there sometimes. So reinforcing bar because this is all manual job. Toolbox talks shall be conducted emphasizing hazards of bar bending, pinch points and handling steel reinforcing bars. The height of that bar, if bar is full height and much above human being head, I don't think there's a risk of that until these are very low where you can fall on bar. So exposed vertical bars, namely pile, caps, columns, other that are left in manner that expose personnel to risk, shall be covered, protected by plastic caps temporarily or by some other means. No unauthorized access be allowed to any such steel areas. Warning signs shall be installed indicating exposed steel bars, when particularly this is in public areas. But on buildings, when our workers, they know everything, particularly in those areas of public domain, this warning signs shall be installed indicating exposed steel bars. Adequate and suitable steel dies should be used, properly fixed to bender's desk or table or post. Preferably bending machine should be used. So dies are there, various dies of various bars. You can say adequate and suitable steel die should be used properly. Fixing to bender's desk, we fix it on bender's desk or table or post also. Sometimes there's no table, you just use post. Preferably bending machine should be used and not otherwise. Though manually bending is not preferred, manual bending is not preferred, but in case quantity is very small and immediate electric supply is not available, as well as keeping average economy an item, it may be permitted in some cases. For example, you have to provide steel in lintels, you have to provide steel in non-structural items. There may be many cases where alternative arrangement can be made, but in structural members you cannot take this risk. Okay, lentils, or you can say floor, slab, or some other minor items, sometimes fascia which are not structural, likewise some parapets. Similarly, cutting bars manually may be permitted, but electrical operated cutting machine is recommended for major rebar cutting for major quantities. Cutting used to be by sometimes manually completely. One time it was used to manually, but later on machines appeared, we purchased, so we use machine, which is fast. Similarly, cutting bars manually may be permitted, but electrical operated cutting machine is recommended for major rebar cutting for accuracy as well as for quality. During manual cutting, safety risks are highly significant for hazards consideration, which requires strict and close control on safety. Cut, waste and smaller bars should not be left. Already cut bars, cut, waste and smaller bars should not be left around on site locations as well as on site areas that convert site into untidy description state. All such pieces should be stored for possible use as either spacer bars or for scrap disposal. In case bars are required to be welded on site, all safety considerations about welding should be applied. If permitted, welding is permitted. Placing a fixing bars are much significant. Excessive heat, high temperature working environment is not recommended. To an extent possible, steel bars should be assembled in shop and then raised or transported to location for a good functioning of placement. It's not always possible, but you have to cut on site sometimes if your fabrication shop is far away, or if it's on site itself, it's fine. For steel placing and fixing on higher levels, adequate arrangements of scaffolding and well-guarded working platforms must be made available for workers to stand safe on such platforms. Stepped access must be provided to lead to such areas. Adequate arrangements should be made by using wooden planks on steel assembled meshes on horizontal placed steel for easy walking during working, so that chances of falling from bare steel are avoided. Means when you are working on steel already fixed or being fixed, you cannot walk on steel. You have to provide temporary paths there, timber paths, for example, planks or some other arrangement, stronger arrangement than ply, so you can walk on that rather than walking on placed steel. And you should walk stable, means you should not stumble on that it's walking material, and that's very important. So you not fall there. And it says, because they don't care every time, you should walk free. Free walking means free strong platform. You can say, again I read, for steel placing On higher level, adequate arrangement of scaffolding and well-guarded working platforms must be made available for workers to stand safe on such platform. Stepped access must be provided to lead to such areas, and adequate arrangement should be made by using wooden planks on steel, assembled meshes on horizontal placed steel for easy walking during working, so that chances of falling from bare steel are avoided. Magnet should be used to remove all nails, steel wires from forms prior to commencement of concrete pours. Such nails and wires should not be pulled out using arms, and strong convenient steel fabricators chairs should be placed as close as possible to allow good support to upper steel bars and smooth movement to steel fixtures and other personnel. And also we use nowadays, of course, for decades, use mechanical connectors particularly for higher size bars, and I should recommend 20 dia or above. 20 means it's around how much? One. That is 20 means about 7 number, I think. It should be 7 or 6 number, probably 6 number. 6 number American unit that use more than that, which means that you have to use mechanical couplers. People call connectors also. We have to take care there that connector is professionally produced and tested. You have to test that piece of connector. It must have that strength, which is minimum required, and you should not congest that. Don't overlap, because overlap congests that section badly. And mechanical connectors are available. These are very strong. If you can test them and use them, so that at least congestion is avoided, and it remains practically same as overlapped one. Here you save overlapped cost, and also it saves time. That's important. And you can say that it's professional work, connectors work, and there's no specific hazard that you can connect them on site itself, tighten them, grip them. Question remains there, safety question, how to handle them. Only safety is that you cannot lift using whatever sling you want. Specific slings are used for epoxy coated bars. Protection of epoxy is required, and you paint on site for makeup or making good certain damages portion, and you should take care that person applies paint must have precautionary measures one. And also when you use some other kind wash, there's no specific, only thing lifting arrangements must be same, and you have to take care while these are very hot during concrete. You have to put water, sprinkle water on that, and we go to backfilling work, backfilling of excavations, which means there can be hazard of excavation collapse while backfilling, and also physical injury due to proximity of plant. Now, what are control measures in excavation backfilling is that whatever machines we use, that should be approved one. It may be shovel, mechanical shovel, or people call it payloader also, or you can use excavator or backhoe, because backhoe excavator is having bucket like shovel, though it's smaller, and also has bucket like excavator, though it's smaller. And for backfilling, I think you don't need very heavy. It should be light is better. So only approved mechanical shovels or JCB type. JCB is a trade name, so you can say excavator type backhoe be used to carry out this work. Plant used to backfill excavations should carry current certification and maintained in safe condition. Plant shall be operated only by trained and authorized personnel, and banksmen, or you can say guides, shall be deployed to control backfilling operation in order to personnel should be excluded from areas where backfilling of excavations move. And in case of mass fill using mechanical equipment, it is to be ensured that pressure imposed from heavy equipment may not damage certain below ground services or also not damage nearby structures. Simultaneously, to be studied that compaction in layer could be attained without compromising safety of equipment and personnel. In case by backfilling activity dusting on site results, then water should be sprinkled on that so that dust doesn't fly. There's no major impact on by backfill except that collapse of soil sides, and people use machine, compactor or roller in that. Only person who knows how to use that machine should be used. No, everybody should not be allowed to use that machine, because without backfill being compacted in layers, it's not accepted. And person who knows how to work on plate compactor or road roller, no one unauthorized person should use that. It is machine. And also jumper is required for corners where machine cannot reach, and that jumper is also very impactful, heavy, and every person cannot use it. But whoever person uses that machine or jumper must have adequate training for that. That adequate training is very important for using those equipment, and I think there is no other major problem. Must have eyeglasses or goggles for that purpose, and particularly mask, because while backfilling it just chances of flying dust which can enter your nose and eyes. So precautions are major. It's a big measure. Then we go to other installation, that's mechanical installation and transportation, lifting of heavy equipment hazards. That is, the equipment can be defective, it can be overloaded, which should be avoided. How to do that? What control measures are now. It's sometimes very easy and sometimes it's not very easy. Control measures, we have to take care of them. It's very important. You cannot simply go by just what I'm saying. It's a question of doing everything, and we have to understand that. electricity, go for water. We talk of mechanical now. Plant equipment use shall be maintained in good condition. That's first requirement. Whatever plant we have to use, it should be maintained properly. Licensed and experienced operators shall be deployed. Licensed and experienced operators shall be deployed and trusted to carry out this activity, which is of course rational. Loading of equipment to be carried out in accordance with company approval. Of course, means every equipment that we load, it should be approved, and that equipment, loading of equipment to be carried out in accordance with company approval. Loading shall be closely supervised in attendance of trained banksmen who should guide everything. Rigging crane studies. Rigging crane is riggers are used for crane. Rigging crane studies shall be conducted if so required to ensure lifting operation is carried out in a controlled and effective manner. Utilizing located, provided, existing lift points. A person who is a rigger, who knows about crane, these rigs, this bases or jacks have to be extended out on both ends, and this rigging crane studies shall be conducted if so required to ensure lifting operation is carried out in a controlled and effective manner, utilizing located, provided, existing lifting points. But every crane operator who is experienced one, that knows about what crane it uses, and they are experienced people. So it's again a question of activity and making sure or remaking sure that crane is safe in every manner, because there are cases booms can fall or machines can settle or even cranes can fall into trenches. That's the point. It happened in many cases. The cranes itself were lifted sometimes. So rigging crane studies shall be conducted if so required to ensure lifting operation is carried out in a controlled and effective manner, utilizing located, provided, existing lifting points. Weight of raisable load. The weight banksman guide shall wear reflecting vests or jackets or other means of personal identification. Arrangement to raise loads arrangement to raise load to be in such a manner that crane or lifting equipment is stationed nearest to structure. Simultaneously, angle of boom shall also be ensured not to exceed or not to be maximum degree. It is suggested to select certain locations of equipment on site so that one station may serve many lifts. One station where crane is stationed, or location where crane is stationed, may access to many areas. It is suggestion, means every time changing causes undue wear and tear on crane, as well as it takes time and we pay for time. So it's suggested to select certain locations of equipment on site so that one station may serve many lifts. Such consideration saves repositioning time of equipment, and prior to lift load or raise it to actual location at low level, a test may be conducted that load remains well suspended safely. It's better if failure occurs at low level rather than from higher levels. It's also significant to note that blind trust cannot be made even on third-party certification of fitness respecting equipment. So these are certain points. And otherwise, maintenance of crane is checking before starting work, all parts of requirement, parts of pre-work inspection, and that should be done, because machine ultimately paper report cannot save it. Now we go to temporary works, that is erection of scaffolding, and we have talked a lot of scaffolding in many other personnel injured by falling materials. These are very common. Water control measures. Scaffold erection to be undertaken by trained scaffolders working under competent supervision. Safe means of access, egress to be provided and maintained for scaffolders carrying out erection work. Safe means of access is stepped stairs, maybe temporarily, that's for timber or steel. Safe means of access, egress to be provided and maintained for scaffolders carrying out erection work. Suitable and sufficient material should be available in order for scaffold to be erected. Techniques. Components should neither be thrown up to scaffolders nor to ground. Unauthorized personnel to be excluded from area where scaffold erection is being carried out. Scaffold and access ladders to be tagged as safe to use by a competent person on completion prior to use. It is suggested to procure, if not brand new, little order scaffold material so that it retains its original strength that can be 100% assured when little older, I mean to say not very old, let's say, is suggested to procure, if not brand new, little older scaffolding material so that it retains its original strength that cannot be 100% assured when old material is used. When material is procured, its data sheet must be referred to in details to ensure what strength our members possess. Whatever load is transferred to these members should be comparatively lesser than specified. Ensure that all materials are classified and stored accordingly so that tracing by personnel is an easy exercise. When design of scaffolding is available, that has to be followed on site and materials be laid according to in a systematic style. All scaffolders require understanding such significant information, and I think if I remember, I showed to you. I think that I have to find again, and that sketch grinding. Let me see if I can show you that. That's very important. Sometimes scaffolding, highest health and safety, hazards control chapter, working at height. No, scaffold, where is that? What's that? Scaffolding. Yes, scaffolding is 2. Let me show you scaffolding. Let me show you all this. Let us show you. Also this, and 3 pair up, and we can show you. So I'm just showing you for purpose of what this is not. This is not actually, it should be, I'm wrong here. I'm showing you I'm showing you some other files. Hold on please, I'll show you some other files. Let me close this and let me close these files. These are close all windows, and you can say I'll show you as PDF is this. That's okay, it's fine. That is scaffold 2 I opened. I'm opening you scaffold 2 it was, right? It was scaffolding 2. Now let me open scaffolding 3, which is print I will take out and then show you only. So it's that one. This is another one. It's very important to find here. HSE procedures. Page short scaffolding. This is, I think, scaffolding 2. I can write here better. Scaffolding 2. It is, I think. It's there. Scaffolding 2. So it's okay. Scaffolding 2 is there. No, this is steps. Scaffold steps, I should say. Steps, ladders, steps, ladders. This is printout I'm taking. So I'll rotate. What scaffolding it is? Scaffold, multi-level. This is for your purpose of demonstration. Already I have explained that much. So you can say this is about shoring and this reinforcing scaffold, stair tower, work platforms, and also this is general steps natural. This is natural scaffolding too. For this is slab or beams. These are girders, very strong girders. Generally, peri girders are employed for this. And these are very strong girders, more than steel strength they have. I use them, and on that we can keep. So you have to keep consideration while you're deciding height of this. It should be total height here. Then you have to deduct this. Then you have to deduct this depth, and you have to deduct this depth. You got this level where you this U is called U here. U member, U clamp. Then this is here, so that you can raise it or down. And then this is fixed points here. All these are fixed, and generally these dimensions of grid, it varies. Sometimes it's 2.4 into 1.2 and sometimes 1.2 into 1.2. It depends on what you are taking. Here you can see sometimes here you can see this was longer, sometimes it's not longer. Now that's different case, means it depends on design. So we have to take this care. Now I'll close this. Let me see which next one. So I close all this scaffolding. I'm closing the other one. I showed to you the stereos and I showed to this multi-level one. Same thing is here in multi-level one, bracings and all that. These vertical standards, and these are called transoms, truss blocks like this, bracing, etc. And this is very common. So I'll put them on, off. Shall be given to all scaffold. Detailed consideration shall be given to all scaffold. A detailed consideration shall be given to all scaffold to ensure that it's properly planned. Scaffold shall be provided with adequate ties support in order to prevent collapse. Scaffolding shall be inspected and tagged prior to use. Just please let me open door. I'm disturbed. Everybody, just every. we can say detailed consideration shall be given to all scaffolding. I have gone through this, again I repeat for reference. Detailed consideration shall be given to all scaffolding to ensure that it's properly planned and erected to meet working requirements, designed to carry necessary loading and maintain in sound condition. BSP 5973 shall be followed as guidance. The scaffolding shall be provided with adequate ties supports in order to prevent collapse. The scaffolding shall be provided with adequate ties supports in order to prevent collapse. Scaffolding shall be inspected and tagged prior to use. Regular inspections of scaffolding shall be conducted and recorded in order to ensure that structure is maintained in safe conditions are important point. Regular inspections of scaffolding shall be conducted and recorded in order to ensure that structure is maintained in safe condition. Personnel working from scaffolding. Persons working from scaffolds shall be instructed not to interfere or alter an existing scaffold without. Only competent personnel will do it, everybody cannot do it. Personnel working from scaffolds shall be instructed not to interfere or alter an existing scaffold because it can lead to failure. Effective action to be taken by supervision in order to ensure that scaffolding defects are rectified immediately, namely guardrails replaced or toe boards replaced, etc. Only authorized scaffolders shall be allowed to alter scaffolding in whatever way. Supervision shall lies with scaffolders in order to ensure coordination of scaffolding fitness and its maintenance. Incomplete scaffolding to be clearly identified, and personnel should be prohibited from using such structures. Regular inspection of scaffolding to be conducted. Hard analysis where fall of scaffold material while dismantling. There can be chance of fall of scaffold material during dismantling and fall of scaffolders, other personnel during dismantling. Water controls. Dismantling of scaffolding to be carried out by trained and competent scaffolders under supervision. No other body should do it. An assessment by supervisor in charge of best method of dismantling scaffold shall be conducted to reduce overall risk at falling material and maintenance of stability of structure prior to dismantling. An assessment by supervisor in charge of best method of dismantling scaffold shall be conducted to reduce overall risk at falling material and maintenance of stability of structure prior to dismantling. No ties or bracing shall be removed in advance of general dismantling. No ties or bracing shall be removed in advance of general dismantling. Working platforms shall be dusted and cleared of all materials and debris before dismantling commences. All possible access to dismantle sections of scaffolding should be barred and warning sign displayed for displaying not to use, indication or instruction as such. All possible access to dismantling sections of scaffolding shall be barred and a warning sign displayed for displaying not to use, indication or instruction. Scaffold materials shall be lowered carefully. Bombing of scaffold materials shall strictly be prohibited. Don't throw it. It will be thrown under control. So bombing of scaffolding material shall be strictly prohibited. Surplus boards and fittings shall be removed from platforms as work progresses and at each end of each day. Tubes and fittings shall be stacked at ground level unless first lift has been designed to support extra loading. Tubes and fittings shall be stacked at ground level unless first lift has been designed to support extra health by potentially harmful substances shall be conducted. These assessments shall detail control measures that should be effected to reduce risk to health. Material Safety Data Sheet (MSDS), Material Safety Data Sheet assessments of risk and necessary control measures to be adopted prior to work being carried out. Personnel shall be instructed to take appropriate precautions to protect their health from impacts of hazards. Training to be conducted for correct use and maintenance of personal protective equipment (PPE). Hazardous substances shall be stored in a safety required manner. Material shall be segregated in accordance with good industrial practice, that is, keeping oxidizing and reducing agent apart. Continuity arrangements should be adopted to prevent spillage of some hazardous substances by potentially harmful substances shall be conducted. These assessments shall detail control measures. These assessments shall detail control measures that should be effected to reduce risk to health. Assessment on hazards and risk to health by potentially harmful substances shall be conducted. These assessments shall detail control measures that should be effected to reduce risk to health. Material Safety Data Sheets assessment of risk and necessary control measures to be adopted prior keeping oxidizing and reducing agents apart. Keeping oxidizing and reducing agents apart. Contingency arrangements should be adopted to prevent spillage of some hazardous substance to ground. Here we are using term, and let us now concentrate on this. Now it is a site for oxidizing and reducing agents. This is chemistry liber text. Now it says oxidizing and reducing agents. Oxidizing and reducing agents are key terms used in describing reactants in redox reactions that transfers electrons between reactants to form products. How to determine an oxidizing and reducing agent in a chemical reaction and importance of this concept. And nitric acid. A reducing agent or reductant. Losses electron is opposite to oxidizing agent. Losses electrons and is oxidized in a chemical reaction. A reducing agent is typically in one of its lower possible oxidation state and is known as electron donor. You can say a reducing agent is typically in one of its lower possible oxidation state. Oxidizing agent or oxidant gains electrons, electron receiver it is, gains electrons and is reduced in chemical reaction. As electron acceptor, oxidizing agent is normally one of its higher possible oxidation states because it gains electrons and be reduced.